Welcome back. You're watching News 9 Live. Now, the war between Uddhav Thackeray and Eknath Shinde, well, it just seems like refuses to die down. The latest tussle has been over the assets that Shiv Sena owns and has, and how they'll be divided between the two factions. The properties and assets in question: the party headquarters, the Shiv Sena Bhavan, a 5-story structure worth around rupees 200 crore. Its Mumbai office, the Shivalaya in Nariman Point, worth around rupees 50 crore rupees. The iconic and plush Matoshri bungalow where the Thackerays reside. The Matoshri 2, which is currently under construction. There is also this talk about the 334 Shakhas, the branch offices across Mumbai, suggested to be worth over 300 crore rupees. All in all, more than 600 crore rupees worth of immovable assets. And needless to say, the tough war is far from over. The duo of Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray, it seemed, was working like a well-oiled machine before the two parted ways in one of the largest group of MLAs jumping ship to stake claim for a fresh government. After the party split in 2022, Uddhav has control over physical properties, most of them. Shinde controls intellectual properties like the party symbol, the party name, its parliamentary and legislative offices, etc. Now, Bala Saheb's legacy of building a Shiv Sena that was based on cadre unity and its discipline, this is trickled down to the grassroots level via their branch offices, also known as the Shakhas. Like I mentioned before, 334 Shakhas across Mumbai alone. But the biggest bone of contention is who will stake claim to the Shakhas, a major backbone for the grassroots level politics and a pivotal support system for the Marathi Manus. And once, and if that hurdle is passed, arises the question of the Shiv Sena legacy, something both factions are eyeing. The third episode of News 9 Plus's cutting-edge documentary series called The House of Thackerays talks about this very issue. You can download the app by scanning the QR code that will be available on your screens during the broadcast. But first, here's a snippet of that docuseries.
The war between Uddhav Thackeray and Eknath Shinde rages on. This time, it's over Shiv Sena's properties and how they will be divided between the two rivals.
This is a huge legacy. By just one decision of the Election Commission, this entire legacy cannot go.
We have faced a lot of insults, being called names, but we want to work with grace and dignity.
Balasaheb Thackeray built the Shiv Sena as a highly disciplined cadre-based unit. This discipline is enforced on the ground through their branch offices called Shakhas. There are 334 Shakhas across Mumbai worth 300 crore rupees. Shakhas are now the biggest bone of contention between Uddhav Sena and Shinde Sena. Whoever controls the Shakhas controls the Marathi Manus.
Our Mukhya Neta, Shri Eknath Rao Shinde ji, has very clarified this, and he has very strongly said that we will not, take over any of the assets of Uddhav ji, nor will we stake claim on any of the funds of their party. Our wealth is the ideology of Sammanya Balasaheb Thackeray ji and his blessings. That is our wealth, and we will take only that wealth which we have. And we are, working with his auspicious symbol, the bow and arrow.
A year ago, the undivided Shiv Sena was a well-oiled political machine with iconic properties, flush with funds. The party headquarters in the Shiv Sena Bhavan, a 5-story structure worth around 200 crore rupees. Its Mumbai office is the Shivalaya in Nariman Point, a 2,000 square foot government bungalow worth around 50 crore rupees. There are around 334 Shakhas all across Mumbai worth over 300 crores. These key physical properties are worth over 550 crores.
The Shakhas are very vibrant. there are scores of people who come with all sorts of problems. The common Marathi Manus of Maharashtra, Mumbai, they will first look at the Shiv Sainiks, whether the Shiv Sena can help me. And as I told you that the Shakhas are spread over all the 227 wards in Mumbai. There may be more than that also. Some wards have 2 or 3 Shakhas, but all over Mumbai there are almost more than 350 Shakhas. And these Shakhas are open 24/7 and people come there. It may be a smallest problem like something to do with their ration card, something to do with their DST bill, some dispute they have with the government, but they first come to the Shakha. Like even a woman who has got some domestic problem, her husband is beating her, or somebody at home is not behaving well, somebody in the community is harassing a woman, she comes to the Shakha.
Well, that was a little snippet of that docu-series. You can catch that on the News 9 application. Download it on your mobile phones today itself. Secondly, to talk more on this, I'm joined by our political editor, Brijesh Pandey, here in the studio. But first, Brijesh, let's cut across to Kiran Tare, our reporter in Mumbai, who's chased this story right down to the wire. Kiran, a very warm welcome on the broadcast. Kiran, quickly, let's get the snowball rolling. Why did you think that it's pivotal to talk about the Shakhas? What kind of power do they wield? And help the viewers, refresh their memories also. What exactly goes to whom and what all is up for grabs right now?
See, in Shiv Sena, Shakha is the best medium to connect with the people. They are in a ward level where people have very small problems like water connectivity or electricity problems. They go to the Shakhas. So Shakhas is the very best way to connect, have a direct connect with the people. And in Shiv Sena, there is a practice that every single officer, every single official of the party, he visits the Shiv Sena Shakha office every single day. That is mandatory for them. So it's a direct communication way. Why I decided to change this story is a very interesting reason. Because in Mumbai, we have seen that most of the Shiv Sainis, they are supporting Uddhav Thackeray. And outside Mumbai, Eknath Shinde is getting the traction. So there is a war between these two big leaders. In Mumbai, of course, where Shiv Sena was born, which is Shiv Sena's bastion, things are very different from the rest of Maharashtra. In Mumbai, Shinde has not been able to breach into the bastion of Uddhav Thackeray. Even today, the Shiv Sainiks are usually supporting Uddhav Thackeray. So the thing is about Shiv Sena's headquarters is in Mumbai. Shiv Sena's Mumbai office is very large. Shiv Sena's parliamentary offices, legislative offices, they are already taken over by Eknath Shinde camp. So the interesting point is that what will happen to the Shakhas? And very interestingly, the Shakhas are not belonging to the party. The Shakhas belong to individuals. I mean, out of 334 shakhas, there are only 15 to 16 shakhas which are owned by Shri Shivai Seva Trust, which is an NGO run by Uddhav Thackeray's supporters. Rest of the shakhas are in the name of an individual person. The property cards for the light bill, the entire documents are in individual property. So neither Uddhav Thackeray nor Eknath Shinde can claim this is Shiv Sena shakhas because that's an individual property. I remember one funny incident that had happened some 10 years back when there was an election of BMC. And one Shakha Pramukh was aspiring to contest the election. But of course, he was denied a ticket. So what he did, he barred entry to the all Shiv Sena officers in his Shakha because that was his personal property. He painted the Shakha into complete white, which used to be a saffron. He turned it into a white as a mark of protest. So the Shiv Sainis can go to any extreme level when it comes to Shakha because they're very emotionally attached to these Shakhas. That is why the Shakha is the pulse of the party. And when it comes to the property matters, of course, the Shakhas are not very big. In some areas, they are measuring between 500 square foot to 1500 square foot. But in Mumbai, even a 500 square foot property runs into lakhs of rupees. So if we come on a money front, of course, they are very healthy. They are very wealthy.
But this example that you're talking about, Kiran, this anecdote that you're talking about how Shiv Sena leaders were barred from entering the Shakha in one particular example. How important then does it make this for Uddhav Thackeray to hit the ground running, try to mobilize these Shakhas, which in the docu-series is also mentioned that most of the Mumbai Shakhas are favoring Uddhav Thackeray, isn't it?
That's true. the Shakha Pramukh, whoever is supporting, if he is supporting Uddhav Thackeray, the Shakha will support Uddhav Thackeray. If he is supporting Eknath Shinde, the entire cadre will go to Eknath Shinde. That is the clear-cut division. At present, Eknath Shinde has not managed to breach the bastion of Uddhav Thackeray on this front. It's a very broad level Shakhas, and these Shakhas, they have worked like very simple forms. If someone needs an Aadhaar card, they will help you to get an Aadhaar card. They will help you to get an ration card. They will help to get enroll for the government schemes, various schemes run by the municipal corporation. So they are, in a way, they are playing as a catalyst to play up for the government. When Uddhav Thackeray was the chief minister. But now Uddhav is not the chief minister, Eknath Shinde is CM, but Eknath Shinde is trying to breach, is trying to win the confidence of all the Shakha Pramukhs. He hasn't been able to do that in Mumbai particularly. Outside Mumbai, the situation is very different. Outside Mumbai, whether in Thane is of course the forte of Eknath Shinde, that is his hometown. Outside Thane, Nashik, Pune, Nagpur, all the big cities, the Shiv Senics are supporting Eknath Shinde because they don't have a direct connect with Uddhav Thackeray. This is a very vast difference. But since Mumbai is the financial capital of the city, financial capital of the country, Mumbai holds the major stake. Whoever becoming the next chief minister, Mumbai has a major say in that in terms of money, in terms of power, in terms of the support on the ground. That is why the shakhas in Mumbai are particularly very important.
Kiran, hi, Brijesh this side. I also wanted to understand this, that you're talking about how the Shakhas in Mumbai are completely under the control of Uddhav Thackeray, but Shakhas outside are not in control of Uddhav Thackeray. How do you explain this dichotomy? Because, he's offspring of Bala Saheb Thackeray, the person who created Shiv Sena. So how come his hold over the rest remaining part of Maharashtra not that good as it should have been?
Shiv Sena was always been a Mumbai-centric party. Outside Mumbai, it has a very little traction. Outside Mumbai, Shiv Sena grew because of the leaders it managed to get on its foot. For example, Eknath Shinde in Thane, Gulabrao Patil in Jalgaon, or Ambadas Danve, people like in Aurangabad and all other cities. So when the leaders, they supported Eknath Shinde, the support base automatically joined Eknath Shinde's camp, which is not the case in Mumbai. In Mumbai, it has a very strong network at the grassroots level. The Shakha Pramukhs or the zonal chiefs, they call them as the Vibhag Pramukhs. These Vibhag Pramukhs, they are loyal to Matoshri. They are loyal to the Thackeray family. That is the reason, even if their MLAs are on Eknath Shinde's side, this party cadre, they decided to be on Uddhav Thackeray's side. They are supporting Uddhav Thackeray very hard-hearted. Some kind of thing we can replicate some things in Raigad and Ratnagiri also, but that is not on a very large scale. But apart from Konkan, Eknath Shinde has managed to take over that cadre on his side. That is the vast difference. That is a big difference between Shinde and Thackeray. Since Thackeray was not able to move out of Mumbai, he managed to have the influence over the Shiv Senics in Mumbai particularly. But outside Mumbai, since his direct connect was not there, the cadre plus the MLAs plus the other MPs, the elected representatives, Jilla Parishad members and municipal corporation members, they very swiftly switch over to Eknath Shinde's side.
All right, Kiran, also give us quickly give us an update about what all is up for grabs as well. There is sentimental value attached to these shakhas, the Shiv Sena Bhavan. What all is still being fought over?
So, Shinde has clearly said that he will not stake a claim on Shiv Sena Bhavan. Anyway, it is not a Shiv Sena property. That is a property owned by
trust.
The trust, the Shivai Trust. And the trust is managed by Uddhav Thackeray's supporters. The only thing he can stake claim is the Shivalaya, which is Mumbai's office, which is a government allotted bungalow. And since Eknath Shinde is running the government, he may stake the claim on the property, but he has made it very clear that he is not going to do that because he has built another office just adjacent to Shivalaya, which is called as Balasaheb Bhavan. So Eknath Shinde already has an office. He doesn't require any other office. So he's not going to claim that. Plus, he has given a name to the office after Balasaheb. The major point was the party fund, which is around 185 crore rupees. So what will happen to that party fund? Everybody thought that Shiv Sena, being a party, this is a party property, of course. So legitimately, by legally, the party fund should go to Eknath Shinde because he is the new party chief. But again, Shinde has said that he will not touch the party fund. let Uddhav Thackeray spend that money for whatever reasons he bought.
Well,
Because he's
statements
feeling,
and, sips between the cup and the lip, well, we'll have to wait and find out if Eknath Shinde really does, mount pressure on Uddhav Thackeray for the party fund as well. Qurban Ali, senior journalist, also joins us on the broadcast. But before we take this discussion further, really quickly, let's again catch a glimpse of this docuseries, which again you can download by scanning the QR code on your screens. Take a look at this docuseries and understand really what is at stake. Of course, Bala Sahib's legacy, but the immovable properties and the intellectual properties, who goes to what? Take a look.
The war between Uddhav Thackeray and Eknath Shinde rages on. This time, it's over Shiv Sena's properties and how they will be divided between the two rivals.
This is a huge legacy. By just one decision of the election commission, this entire legacy cannot go.
We have faced lot of insults, been called names, but we want to work with grace and dignity.
Bala Sahib Thackeray built the Shiv Sena as a highly disciplined cadre-based unit. This discipline is enforced on the ground through their branch offices called Shakhas. There are 334 Shakhas across Mumbai worth 300 crore rupees. Shakhas are now the biggest bone of contention between Uddhav Sena and Shinde Sena. Whoever controls the Shakhas controls the Marathi Manus.
Our Mukhya Neta, Shri Eknath Shinde ji, has very clarified this, and he has very strongly said that we will not, take over any of the assets of Uddhav ji, nor will we stake claim on any of the funds of their party. Our wealth is the ideology of Sammanya Bala Sahib Thackeray ji and his blessings. That is our wealth, and we will take only that wealth which we have. And we are, working with his auspicious symbol, the bow and arrow.
A year ago, the undivided Shiv Sena was a well-oiled political machine with iconic properties, flush with funds. The party headquarters in the Shiv Sena Bhavan, a 5-story structure worth around 200 crore rupees. Its Mumbai office is the Shivalaya in Nariman Point, a 2,000 square foot government bungalow worth around 50 crore rupees. There are around 334 shakhas all across Mumbai worth over 300 crores. These key physical properties are worth over 550 crores.
The shakhas are very vibrant. There are scores of people who come with all sorts of problems. The common Marathi Manus of Maharashtra, Mumbai, they will first look at the Shiv Sainiks, whether the Shiv Sena can help me. And as I told you that the shakhas are spread over all the 227 wards in Mumbai. There may be more than that also. Some wards have 2 or 3 shakhas, but all over Mumbai there are almost more than 350 shakhas. And these shakhas are open 24/7, and people come there. It may be a smallest problem, like something to do with their ration card, something to do with their GST bill, some dispute they have with the government, but they first come to the shakha. Like even a woman who has got some domestic problem, her husband is beating her, or somebody at home is not behaving well, somebody in the community is harassing a woman, she comes to the shakha.
All right, let's quickly go across to Qurban Ali, senior journalist on the panel right now. Qurban, what do you have to say? There is clear pressure that has been mounted by the Eknath Shinde faction and the Shakhas which is sort of like a nervous system for the Shiv Sena. What's the ground sentiment? What are the shopkeepers saying? What are the auto wallahs, the rickshaw pullers? What are they feeling about the Shakhas? Who should they go to? And about the entire, MLAs jumping ship and then staking claim to form the government as well. What's the ground sentiment, and where will these Shakha finally head towards?
Well, Mr. Shinde's strategy, I believe, is that he not only want to have the legacy of Bala Saheb Thackeray and Shiv Sena, but also its heritage and in complete nature. So he can claim that he is the real heir apparent of Bala Saheb Thackeray, and he want to give this message only. So his whole politics is to ridicule Uddhav Thackeray and prove it that he may be the biological son of Bala Saheb Thackeray, but we are its heir apparent. And they want to send a message not only Maharashtra but across the India that they are the real Shiv Sena, and that's why this whole war for asset is going on, in my opinion.
And this dichotomy that, Brijesh was also talking about, Kurban, do you think this is going to end up into a show of muscle on the ground finally by the end of the day?
Well, it has been proved umpteen times in the past, and he will leave no space to prove it that he will fight to finish this thing, Mr. Shinde, because now he is in a position, he is in power, he has got support from Supreme Court, he has got support from Election Commission, so everything is going his way. So that's why, in my opinion, he will try his best to prove it that he is the real Shiv Sena, and that's why this whole war is going on.
Right. Brijesh, interesting points being raised there by both Kiran Tare and Kurbanji over there. Now, it's quite clear that both are trying to stake claim to Bala Saheb's legacy. There's an interesting phrase that Kurbanji used, heir apparent. I mean, this is not some sort of a monarchy. With Prince William's these days, the news doing the rounds, you use that word over there. But Shiv Sena, the Uddhav faction spokespersons come out and say that, Uddhav ji might look like a cool and calm personality, but he's actually, don't mistake it for the fact that he's not re-strategizing, he's not strategizing. But that doesn't come across to the public as well. It looks like he's a little slow on his feet. Do you think that's going to hurt his chances? Is there something that Uddhav ji should be doing a little differently now?
Well, I think so, because you have to also understand that irrespective of how what kind of spin Uddhav Thackre's camp might give it to you, but the fact of the matter also is there that you were the chief minister, and under your eyes, under your watch, this entire rebellion was planned, executed. All the MLAs kept on leaving Mumbai. You had no idea about them, and you were completely caught in dark. This is in political parlance, this is simply unacceptable. This shows that you do not have ears to the ground when you are the one who is ruling the roost. Also shows your disconnect, not only with your MLAs, but also with the cadre at large. And this is the reason why Eknath Shinde, with the help of the BJP, of course, was able to strategize, maneuver, and then execute this plan. Him losing the chief minister's chair is not that scary, but the fact that a majority of the MLAs were able to leave Mumbai without him having a hint about it, or could not be able to do anything to stop them, make sure that that they are able to get those MLAs brought back either to Matoshri or to a place where Uddhav could communicate with them. I think it puts serious question marks about the leadership ability and the organizational capability of Uddhav Thackeray. And the daily desertion continues. It's not like the desertion has stopped. So I think Uddhav Thackeray is in a serious need for a complete image makeover. Remember, Shiv Sena is not known for its sophistication. You never had a very sophisticated leadership, a suave leadership, who is at the helm of Shiv Sena. It's very brawny, very in your face, muscle kind of thing, with people speaking in a particular language which motivates their cadre. Uddhav Thackeray till now has not been able to do that.
All right. And Kiran, since you've been on the ground trying to chase this story as well, on the Libra scales, what weighs heavier? Which side weighs heavier? We know that intellectual property has gone to Eknath Shinde, which might have more sentimental value, might weigh heavier on the Libra scales than what Uddhav ji has. I mean, Matushri, where he has been living, some other buildings, the party fund. I mean, all of that is also important. But on the Libra scales, which side weighs heavier as of now, where we stand?
See, on a legal front, Uddhav Thackeray definitely has an backseat. He is on a backseat. Eknath Shinde has an upper hand. But when it comes to the sympathy factor, Uddhav Thackeray is gaining the sympathy, and which is what I feel that Uddhav Thackeray's next strategy will be appealing people on the base of sympathy only, because he has been trying to tell his voters that it was my father's party, it was my father who gave everything to this rebellions, to these rebels. But they are the people who ditched us, and now they are trying to hijack our party. So his entire politics is roaming around the sympathy factor. And mind you, in Mumbai, Uddhav is getting a traction on the sympathy factor only. Legally, he is on a very, we can say that he's not able to convince the people on a legal front, which Rajesh was right on saying that he could not control his party members, he could not control his MLAs. But in common people, the sympathy is working in Uddhav's favor. That is why the elections in BMC has been delayed. The BJP is not very sure that they are going to dethrone Uddhav from the BMC, which he has been ruling since 1997. This is one of the major factors. The moment BJP and Eknath Shinde will destroy this sympathy factor, Uddhav Thackeray will be finished.
Kiran, Brijesh this side. I wanted to ask you one more thing. That there was a survey which otherwise gave BJP a lot of number of seats in the rest of the country. But when it came to Maharashtra, interestingly, it put Shiv Sena much ahead than both BJP as well as Eknath Shinde faction. How do you see this, and how do you analyze this?
This is because all three parties, British, the Maharashtra Vikas Agadi, which comprises Shiv Sena, Rashtrabadi Congress, NCP, and the Congress. Recently, there were two by-elections in Maharashtra. Incidentally, both were in Pune. One was in Kasbapet constituency, and other was in Chinswad. In Chinswad, there was a triangular fight. BJP candidate, Maharashtra Vikas Agadi candidate, and an independent. In that contest, the votes were divided, and the BJP could win very comfortably. But in Kasbapet, there was a one-on-one fight between BJP and the Maharashtra Vikas Agadi, where BJP lost by 11,000 votes. So all three parties, if they are fighting together, if they keep united, they could defeat the BJP. That is the lesson from Kasbapet. That is why the survey says that if the Maharashtra Vikas Agadi stays united, as of now they are united, but if it continues in the future also, if the Maharashtra Vikas Agadi can put a brave front, and if they can put all their resources together, they can beat the BJP. That is why the BJP is lagging behind on all these surveys.
All right, I'll take a quick question to Qurban Ali. You know what Kiran Tare is over here saying, that once the sympathy factor evades, Uddhav is going to be completely finished. Maybe that's why Eknath Shinde is also not trying to lay siege to the Shiv Sena Bhavan, because there is quite a direct link between the Thackeray family and that particular building, and it is only going to help other people sympathize more towards the Uddhav faction. But what else for Uddhav? Is there no other way apart from the sympathy factor that Uddhav can sort of like bounce back, maybe hit the ground running, maybe mobilize the crowd on the ground, take out rallies? No other option for Uddhav Thackeray at the moment?
Well, we have to wait and see, because it has to be proved in a big election, like in general election next year, or of the assembly election whenever it comes. Because in 2-3 by-elections, you cannot say that Uddhav is losing or Eknath Shinde is getting more sympathy and support. So we have to wait for that. But for the time being, yes, you can say that whatever the picture emerging from Maharashtra politically, it's going in favor of Eknath Shinde and his group and his party, and it's very alarming for Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. And if he claims to the legacy of Shiv Sena and Balasaheb Thackeray, he has to really work hard to go to the masses, to get their support, and to prove it in the next election, whenever it may be.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Qurban Ali, senior journalist, Kiran Tare, our reporter from Mumbai. You can check out his cover story on the Shakha battle only on the News 9 Plus application. You can download that application from the Google and the iOS Play Store as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Brijesh, thank you for joining me here in the studio. Well, we'll have to wait and find out whether Uddhav is going to be able to garner that kind of support. The Shakha verdict is still out there.
Because they are the sinews, you know, anybody who controls them controls the power and the pelf as far as the party structure goes.
And people are already talking about whether a single election commission decision is going to be able to help us negate, you know, whether there was actually a legacy or not. But many thanks for joining us. We're going to slip into a quick break. News and updates continue on News 9 Live Studio.